So there is some new polling out that I'm going to share with you, as it apparently shows that it shows the divide between people that don't like Biden and people that do like Joe Biden in terms of Democratic voters and who they would want as Biden's VP. And it's completely different depending on if the people already like Joe Biden and plan to vote for him. And it's an important point worth showcasing here, because if Biden picks the wrong VP, it may have an impact. Though I will say I do think this election largely for many people is about getting out Donald Trump. So ultimately, it may not even matter what Biden says or does, as people's focus is purely on getting out Trump, regardless of who the Democratic nominee or ticket is. But let me show you this data anyways. So this is from YouGov. So the headline here: Harris' advantage comes from enthusiastic Biden supporters, while Warren and Abrams do better with Biden doubters. This is very important. Now, Abrams, really should be out of the discussion. Look how little support she has. But Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren. So people that want to see Kamala Harris as the vice president are already enthusiastic about Joe Biden. Whereas Elizabeth Warren, people that want Elizabeth Warren as the vice president, are dissatisfied, upset, or not sure about Biden. So me, as somebody who is a massive critic of Elizabeth Warren, I don't, honestly, I'm not even sure if there'd be any difference at all between Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren on the ticket. I don't trust either. In terms of actually fighting for people's needs over what special interests, big money are going to say that are in Biden's ear. So, but putting that aside, just in terms of a ticket, who's going to excite the kind of coalition necessary to win the presidency? Again, understanding that Biden, it may not matter at all. But if there is a worry here that people on that are dissatisfied or upset about Joe Biden, if there is a worry that they're going to stay home, picking Kamala Harris is not going to net you too much support. Going with Elizabeth Warren will. Now, I would love to see a version of this poll that shows Bernie Sanders, but of course, Biden's already said he's going to pick a female vice president. It's not going to be Bernie Sanders. But I guarantee you, a Biden-Bernie ticket would be the best ticket. It just would, because that is actually combining the divide in the party into a single ticket. But here, clearly, Elizabeth Warren is the better choice. Now, I do think there is less of a chance of that happening at this point. And I really do think that the Biden campaign will likely go with symbolism over any actual substance. So they're seeing the protests right now, the George Floyd murder in the street. It's really going to, I think, push Biden towards either Kamala Harris or Val Demings. So it's the likelihood of Biden picking a white woman as his VP. I just think over the past few months the chance of that is now less than it was before. Really, I think Klobuchar almost had it in the bag until it came out that Klobuchar had not prosecuted Derek Chauvin, the guy the officer that killed George Floyd, had not prosecuted him earlier when she had the opportunity as a prosecutor. So that killed her chances. And then she came out and said, "Oh, Biden should pick a black woman as his VP," knowing full well that she only dropped out of the race for vice president because she knew Biden was going to pick her. But anyways, putting that story aside, I do think there's just less of a chance of it happening. I think in fact, if I were to bet right now, I think Biden's going to pick Kamala Harris. And he said he's going to make a choice by, I think, August or by the beginning of August. So we're going to have to wait and see who that pick is. But, you know, Barack Obama is definitely in Joe Biden's ear, and I'm sure he's pushing Kamala Harris. Now, I wonder if what Kamala Harris did to Joe Biden in that first debate, if that's going to have an impact on Biden, how he feels about Kamala Harris, and does he think that he can actually work with her? And does he want to potentially expose himself to the kind of attack ads that would have Donald Trump putting videos out there of Kamala Harris going after Joe Biden in commercials? Because that ad writes itself. The Trump campaign for sure is going to do that if Kamala Harris is the VP. So does Joe Biden want that? I don't know. I think, politics aside, I think Joe Biden likes Elizabeth Warren more as a person than he likes Kamala Harris. So that would lead me to believe that Elizabeth Warren still has a shot. But all of this ultimately may not even matter. As I said, this is the kind of race where I didn't expect this months ago. I thought it was definitely going to matter what Joe Biden did, that there was definitely, it was almost going to be hard for him to win the election because of the kind of support, the strong support that Trump has, the enthusiasm Trump has with his base compared to the complete lack of enthusiasm for Joe Biden. That usually makes a difference. In most races, that makes a difference. Lack of enthusiasm definitely hurts Democrats. But this is a case where, despite the lack of enthusiasm, there is a immense hatred for Donald Trump and Trump's administration. And the enthusiasm or lack thereof for Biden doesn't really matter. That enthusiasm doesn't matter as much as it has in the past because of Donald Trump and how much he is hated. So this conversation really is just almost for fun, I think, because I don't think it's really going to matter in terms of winning the election. And in terms of who has that kind of power and who may run in 4 years, if Biden doesn't run for a second term, which I think is very likely considering Biden's mental state, then we're looking at potentially the next president here. It could be Kamala Harris, could be Elizabeth Warren. While I don't trust either, I do think there's a potential to maybe pull Warren more or have Warren be more reactive to movements in the streets if she is leading the ticket. But behind Joe Biden, I imagine her not doing much of anything, the same way that Kamala Harris, I'm sure, would be the same. So either way here, not great choices, and ultimately none of this may matter. But I do tend to think that he's leaning towards Kamala Harris.